Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and welcome back to yet another video where we are recapping another Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2022 training camp practice. Today, we are going to be taking a look at the August 7th training camp practice that you are seeing on your screen right now. First things first, I want to say is, hey, it was not very hot outside today, which was a fantastic thing to see. I was actually able to leave this practice today without sweating absolute buckets, so that is a positive there. Also, shout out to Alan and his wife, who I was able to watch the entirety of this practice with, having some great conversations with them along the way. But let's go ahead and dive into some of the good and some of the bad from this practice today. First thing I want to say is, folks, Russell Gage continued to impress. Now, there are some other wide receivers that I've talked about the past couple of videos that I'm not going to mention here, guys like Tyler Johnson and Scotty Miller, who did make some good plays in this practice today, but I want to mention Gage again because I haven't talked about him in a couple of videos now, and Gage has looked really good throughout this training camp, folks. He has been one of the most impressive players on the entirety of this Buccaneers offense throughout the entirety of camp, and I really do believe Gage is going to surprise some people. I know I made a video a couple of weeks ago, or I guess probably even a couple of months ago now, talking about how Gage was going to be an underrated superstar for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this upcoming season. Even with the addition of Julio Jones, folks, I still believe that. I have seen Gage develop a very strong chemistry with Tom Brady at quarterback, and I really think that that could continue to grow and blossom in the regular season. So keep an eye on Gage, folks. I know that Julio Jones is there. I know that Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are there, but I really do believe Gage will surprise some people in a big way. He has been absolutely electric so far in training camp, but where Tom Brady had a decent day today overall, I did see a couple of comments that said he threw a couple of interceptions. Myself personally, I did not see those Tom Brady interceptions. If they are out there, maybe I will be able to see them at some point, but, in my opinion, I did not see any Tom Brady interceptions today, but I did see a tough day for backup quarterbacks Blaine, Gabbert, and Kyle Trask, and I want to spend a little bit of time talking about this, because firstly, with Blaine Gabbert, before we get to Kyle Trask, Blaine Gabbert has been meh throughout the entirety of this training camp. He has made a couple of nice throws here and there for sure, but he's also had, I feel, more meh to bad days than good days throughout training camp. Whereas Kyle Trask, and I do want to spend some time talking about Trask, started off well throughout training camp. I will say the first couple of practices that I attended, I thought that he was playing better than Gabbert and looked pretty decent overall, but man oh man, the couple past practices have not been kind to Kyle Trask, and the internet is letting him know. Blaine Gabbert threw a couple of interceptions today, by the way. We'll talk about that in a moment. Kyle Trask, I believe, threw 2 interceptions today. I believe J.J. Russell had one of them, and then another player had one later on. But Kyle Trask, what's going on with him? I've seen the internet chatter. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram. A lot of people are very critical of Kyle Trask right now, and I do understand that. I think that this is a very pivotal training camp, a very pivotal preseason for Kyle Trask. I will agree with that, but I don't agree with the take or the opinion that Kyle Trask has been bad throughout the entirety of training camp. That is not what I've been seeing. I will say that Kyle Trask has not had a good couple of practices. That is very much for sure. But I do think that Trask has had some good positives throughout training camp, especially at the start of training camp, at least some of the practices that I attended, and I think that he is showing growth and progression considering where he was last year. Of course, we'll have to see what happens in training camp and whatnot, but all in all, I do think that Trask is getting a little bit too much of a hard time from Bucs fans on social media and whatnot, and we're just going to have to continue to wait to see him grow and develop throughout the remainder of this training camp and in the preseason games as well. I think overall the backup quarterback battle is more even now than what it was when it started. When the battle first started, past the first couple of days of training camp, I would have given the job to Kyle Trask, but now, after a couple of more practices, some more time has gone on by, it seems like these guys are really kind of neck and neck, not because they're playing really good, but really because one guy is not separating themselves from the other. So again, maybe things will change in the next couple of practices with the Miami Dolphins, with the preseason game against the Miami Dolphins. We'll just have to wait and see. But a couple of players who did get those interceptions on those backup quarterbacks, Gabbert and Trask today, included linebacker J.J. Russell, who I just mentioned, good for the young linebacker there. Ross Cockrell, Antoine Winfield Jr., and Logan Ryan all had interceptions today. All three secondary players who have looked really good throughout the entirety of this training camp. We've talked about Ross Cockrell a lot. I'm not going to mention him too much more, but the man has been a training camp beast the past couple of years now, and that's always a positive thing to see. Antoine Winfield Jr. has been firing up the past couple of training camps, or I guess I should say the past couple of practices in this training camp, getting a couple of takeaways for this Buccaneers defense, which is always a good thing to see. And then Logan Ryan. This guy has really shown up. He's really been able to make some plays. He's looked like a solid veteran addition, much what like a lot of people thought he was going to be. Great job for the defense today. I felt that they were the star point of this practice today. The offense did have some good moments here or there, but I really thought the defense turned it up today. But I will say this. One guy who was turning it up today on the offensive line was backup center Nick Leverett. He went hard in the paint today, folks. He was shoving people. He was getting into some pushing and shoving fights. He got punched in the head by Raheem Nunez-Roches. I think he got into a little bit of spat with Grant Stewart as well. Nick Leverett was all over the field today, and he actually did get some praise after practice from Harold Goodwin, as well as John Molchon, as well as Robert Hainsey. Robert Hainsey actually got some praise from Harold Goodwin today. Harold Goodwin said that he trusts Robert Hainsey as the starting center. He feels comfortable with Hainsey as the starting center. Is that an indication that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will not sign a veteran center like a J.C. Tretter moving forward? Who knows? But I will say this. There was some confidence displayed in Robert Hainsey today, and then also Nick Leverett, I thought, was showing some good aggression and some really good just overall attitude, and he is labeled as the backup center right now, and John Molchon also got some praise as well, so it seems like the Buccaneers are feeling pretty decent about their center room moving forward, depending on how long Ryan Jensen may be out, but you never know. Could be a smokescreen. Maybe they are working on signing a veteran center. Let's just kind of stay tuned on that. But another offensive player who had a good day today was Rashad White, and I wanted to talk about Rashad White a little bit more because I feel like I haven't mentioned him enough in these training camp videos. Rashad White has been putting in that work. He's looked good catching the football. He's looked good running with the football. I believe my colleague Evan over at BucsNation.com posted on Twitter that Rashad White just absolutely juked safety Keanu Neal out of his shoes. It was a wild play. If you haven't seen it, folks, yet, go check out at Evan NFL on Twitter to go find the video. Rashad White was a menace on that play, and it just continues to show that, hey, Rashad White's a dog. He's got that dog in him, and he is going to continue to fight and scrap for as many snaps as he can get. I think that really right now, in terms of the running back to battle, Giovanni Bernard and Rashad White have been the two main competitors, with kind of Keyshawn Vaughn bringing up the rear, as well as a guy like Kenyon Barner. But another rookie who had a good day today was Cade Otton. He is stringing together a couple of good practices here and there. We have seen a good amount of Cam Brate and Kyle Rudolph. I'm not going to say that Cade Otton is going to start over one of those guys. I don't think that is an accurate statement to make, but Cade Otton has been able to make some nice plays here or there. I'm going to be very excited to see him in the first preseason game against the Dolphins, where I'm going to be very pumped up to see him put in some more work. But we did just talk about Rashad White. We did just talk about the running back 2 battle. One guy who looked better today, which was good, maybe gives himself a little bit of momentum moving forward, was Keyshawn Vaughn. And I know I just said that Keyshawn Vaughn is kind of like the odd man out right now in that running back 2 battle, but today he did look better than what he has had most days. Keyshawn Vaughn has not had the best camp in the world. He hasn't had a terrible camp per se, but guys like Rashad White and guys like Giovanni Bernard, in my opinion, have been out practicing Keyshawn Vaughn up to this point. But overall today, I thought Vaughn looked looked much better. I think he is really going to be getting a lot, and I mean a lot of preseason work here in the first game, as he should, as should a lot of backups. That's where you really need to figure out who's winning depth position battles and things along those lines, as most of the starters are pretty much settled at this point. You want to see which of the backups can step up. Look for a lot of work from Keyshawn Vaughn moving forward in the remainder of these training camp practices, as well as the first preseason game. And finally, folks, before I leave you with the remainder of this footage, I want to talk about the kicking battle. The kicking has still been intense, folks. These guys are not giving an inch to either one or the other. Jose Borregales and Ryan Succop have been going toe-to-toe, full pun intended. These guys cannot miss. And I've talked about this in other videos, but I will say, if these guys do continue to make all of their kicks, right, and these guys continue to go 8 for 9 or 9 for 9 in these situations, I have a feeling that the battle would more than likely go to Ryan Succop. My reasoning for that is because he's the established veteran. He has been in those clutch game time situations before, as you do see a little bit of this shoving battle I got from some of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive and offensive linemen during practice. These guys are ready to play some other teams, by the way, folks. You can just tell in these practices things are getting a little intense. But back to the kicking battle, I will say, again, Ryan Succop, he's been there before. He's done the clutch kicks, more so than Jose Borregales, who has yet to kick a field goal in a regular season game. That is what I think would give Succop the edge. Now, I will say, some people have made some pretty fair points to me saying, but what about kickoffs, James? You know, Ryan Succop cannot do kickoffs. That's not a good thing. But I would say to that, as a counterpoint, they always have Jake Camarda. He can do some kickoffs. He was doing kickoffs today. They did also have Jose Borregales doing kickoffs today, which, you know, they're trying to see what they can have, what they can do, but they could always have Jake Camarda do that as well. Maybe they're trying to get feelers for what that situation is like. If Jake Camarda can do kickoffs, maybe they do decide to go with Ryan Succop over Jose Borregales. But if they decide that Jose Borregales is better at doing kickoffs than both Succop and Camarda, that could be the deciding factors to what may make them go with the young kicker over the proven veteran. So right now as it stands, you know, while I would give the edge to Succop, I'm definitely not going to be counting out Jose Borregales at all. I think whichever guy doesn't make the team will also very, very likely make it onto another team's roster. We saw it with the punting situation. Bradley Pinion is now with the Atlanta Falcons. Sterling Hofrichter just recently signed with the Miami Dolphins, and we would very easily see, in my opinion, a similar situation with Ryan Succop or Jose Borregales. The Buccaneers are in a very unique situation right now, a very blessed situation, I would say, where they have two really good kickers, which for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in recent history is a rare thing to have indeed. But overall, the kicking battle, I feel, has been pretty solid. Guys are continuing to go out there and make plays and really showcase what they can do to the best of their abilities. But folks, that's really it for most of my notes throughout training camp today. If I did miss something and you guys were at the training camp practice and saw something different, go ahead and let me know. Again, just kind of go back on the Trask thing. I know a lot of people are going to be very critical about Kyle Trask. Maybe I will make a separate video talking about it. Maybe I won't. I'll probably save that for after the first preseason game. But all in all, Kyle Trask has been fine, in my opinion. He was scrambling a lot throughout practice today. A lot of people were critical of that. In my opinion, the offensive line didn't give him a ton of time. And I'm not saying this out of bias. You guys know, here on the channel, I love the gift of Gabbert. I love the Trask Master, but you know, I do got to call it how I see it, and so far, both guys have been pretty meh the past couple of days I have been there at these training camp practices, but again, I really don't think, you know, especially a guy like Trask deserves all the flack that he has been getting. A guy like Blaine Gabbert isn't getting that kind of flack. I get it, Trask is a second-round pick in recent memory, but, you know, hey, he's growing, he's progressing. You know, we just have to kind of be patient and watch and, you know, hope for the best in terms of Trask's growth and development moving forward. But, folks, that is it for this training camp recap. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything that I talked about down in the comment section below. Again, I didn't really see any Tom Brady interceptions. I saw a couple of people talking about that. I did not see anything personally. If I missed something, go ahead and let me know. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on it. And yeah, the next couple of practices that we'll have here on the channel will be the joint practices with the Miami Dolphins, and then we will have the first preseason game, which is very exciting. I don't know what I'm going to do for that game yet. It may be a live stream reaction. I may go to the game and have, you know, a substitute host for a live stream reaction. I'm not sure yet, but you know, once I do get finalized on what the game plan is, I will make sure to go ahead and let you guys know via video or via the community tab here on the channel, as you guys did see an interception there for the Buccaneers defense, which again, just kind of send that point home, I felt were the dominant, you know, team, I guess I should say, the dominant unit for this Buccaneers team in practice today. But anyway, folks, thank you guys so much for watching this video again. Hope y'all enjoyed. I'll leave you with the remainder of this footage, but until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.
Walk over and oh.
The other two are early up.
Really